So now we're going to do the second video dealing with remembering two-step equations. So let's just get right started. Look at A. X plus 6 is 4. I want to get rid of the 6. So if I have a 6, a positive 6, I'm going to subtract because when I do that, 6 minus 6 gives me 0. So that's my whole point, is to make that go away. Okay, and again, if you feel more comfortable drawing that line down the middle, that is great. Keep doing that. When I do this, I'm going to get x is equal to negative 2. Okay, keep that in mind. Let's jump to D. Look at D right below. I'm right down here. Okay, so 2x plus negative 3 is equal to negative 23. I want to get rid of a negative 3. I want to get rid of that. So I have a negative 3. I'm going to add a positive 3 because negative 3 plus 3 is 0. So I get 2x is equal to negative 20. Now you know what to do. I have multiplication, so what am I going to do? I'm going to divide both sides by 2. So I got x is equal to negative 10. Okay, good. Now B comes up with a whole new thing. Look at B right here. X minus a negative 4. Whenever I have subtraction is the same as adding the opposite. And the phrase that one of my students taught me one time is cross the line and change the sign. And I'll show you what that means. Cross the line and change the sign. Okay, do you have that written down? So what that means is when I have a subtraction sign, I'm going to cross that line and change the sign of what follows it. Because now I have x plus 4. I know what to do with that. And when I have that, I need to get rid of a positive 4, so I'm going to subtract 4. I have a positive 4. I have addition. But if I have a positive 4, I have to get rid of it, so I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides. Therefore, I get x is equal, and a negative plus a negative, my sign stays the same, and I add. If my signs are the same, I add, and my signs stay the same. So I get x equals negative 10. Okay, look at E. That can sometimes be a tricky one. Look at E, right down here. Okay, so on E, I have a 7. I want to get rid of a 7. If I have a 7, I have to make it add to 0. That means I have to add a negative 7 or subtract 7 from both sides. So I get negative 3x is equal to negative 15. Now I'm going to divide by a negative 3. I get x is equal to 5. Okay, look at G. Look at G with me. On G, I have negative x plus 5 is equal to 23. So we know we're going to get rid of the 5. We're going to subtract 5 from both sides. So then we get negative x is equal to, is that 18? That's 18. Now I have a negative x equals 18. There's two ways I can approach this. One way is I can go, hey, wait a second, what's the number here? Well, that's a 1. So I have negative 1x. Negative 1 is connected by multiplication. So how do I get rid of it? That's right, I divide through by a negative 1. And mathematically, that's the best way to look at it. So I get x is equal to negative 18. Okay? Now, the other way I do it is when I have negative x, so negative x is equal to 18. This is, you have to be careful because this can be a bad habit. Okay, what I do is I know that that negative comes over to this side. So that means that I get x is equal to negative 18. But the negative comes over. Now let's say, this is a totally separate problem. Let's say that I have a negative x is equal to a negative 12. That negative still comes over to this side, but now I have a negative of a negative 12, which makes it a positive 12. Hopefully you basically remember positive and negative numbers. Okay, so look at H. I have a 12. I'm going to subtract it. And what sometimes is confusing is people are like, but I have a subtraction. But I have to get rid of the 12. So therefore I have to add a negative 12. I can think of it that way or subtract. It looks the same no matter which way you do it. So I get negative x is equal to 6. Oh, I have that negative. It has to go to the other side. Better yet, mathematically divide through by -1. It does not matter how you do it. I'm still going to get x is equal to -6. We're going to skip this page and we're going to go to these problems. And what I'd like you to do on this page is just numbers 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6. And we're just going to stop there for today. That's enough. And that gives us some good practice in reviewing solving equations. Great. Please do your best. And if you have questions, I'll be back to answer them soon.